all the beings in the lower astral plane, all these interdimensionals, aliens, spirits, whatever it is, the hodgepodge that goes on there, all of those beings feed on humanity. And they create systems during the Kali Yuga cycle to basically feed on mankind. And that's why you look at the government systems and there are all these bizarre parasitic systems where humanity basically at this point gives all our money. You know, we see dictatorships in lots of points of the world. And you really see this dark charge move into the world where all the leadership becomes very parasitic. And states are set up and systems are set up to try to basically siphon everything out of humanity. And the last phase in this process before we move into the golden age is to actually alter human beings. It is to change the human form to a form that basically lower astral entities can occupy. And so these dark beings, their very existence is hanging in the balance. And that's why this is so desperate and so weird, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's just getting more and more dystopian by the day. And it's like, well, yeah, because the beings in the lower astral plane that have spent the entire Kali Yuga hoarding resources, lording over mankind, trying to initiate mankind into the lower astral plane, to feed on them, all of that kind of stuff, that's ending now. But there's been a lot of efforts to try to link Earth to this lower astral plane. So the last part of their mission that is trying to be done now is to actually change the human genome, to lower the human genome, to make it more synthetic. Not so that we can heal diseases, not so that we can do all these miraculous things. That is how it will be taught. But there's an aspect to this that is actually to damage the human consciousness to such a severe degree, to make it so synthetic that lower astral beings, demonic people, can actually take a human body. Why are they enforcing everything that they're enforcing right now? Doesn't make any sense. Sure, we can say this is about money. Sure, I guess so. But not really. A lot of these people have all of the money and power that they could ever want, and they've had it for centuries. That isn't what makes them want to get up in the morning. What is the most valuable commodity is consciousness. Your consciousness. That is it. It is the most valuable thing. And that has to be secured. So part of this is to change the human form into something synthetic, into something that directly links the human being to the lower astral plane. Why? Because we're evolving out of the lower astral plane's reach. We're going to surpass it. And that is why all this is going on. That is what's really going on. This is religious. Everything that we're experiencing right now with the health crisis is a religious ritual for these people. We need to understand this. This is our initiation. Do we pass or do we fail? This is about changing what human beings are. And this is why I drone on and on about organic human beings and synthetic human beings and the history of the human being developing as an organic form, and how divergent beings always want to tell us that we are these hybrids. And because when you mess with genetics, you mess with portals. Every human is a portal. Every human has an effect on this planet, an effect out there. If you start mixing things in certain ways, you start to create certain portals, certain links to certain spheres. They're linking themselves to this planet by taking our genetics, by taking certain people's genetics on this planet and merging themselves with it so they can stay. And they have been doing this transgenesis for decades and changing their form and changing the human form, so that at this point in time, maybe they can create a form that they can eventually incarnate into. If we really want to just not hold back and get into what's going on, that's what's going on. How long till tyranny ends? The rate at which tyranny ends is an exact ratio to when we say stop. It is an open timeline that is going to directly be predicted based on our ability to say no. And this is the whole point of this 3D sphere that we live on, this 3D plane, this material plane. It is to live in this material plane as though it is a higher plane. It is to make this plane holy. It is to make this material and dense plane holy. It is to not allow this realm to become, as Steiner would say, the realm of death, because it is so heavy and because the life cycles can be so short. To no longer have this be a realm of death, but have it to be a plane of intense and vibrant life. And we do that through living as spiritual beings on earth. So